Assalamu alaikum. I hope you are all in the best of health and iman. If I was to ask you who you were, but you couldn't use your name, your age, your occupation, or your relationship with others, like being a mom, a dad, a sister, a brother, you get the point. Would you be able to answer it? Most of us wouldn't, and that is okay because my prayer and hope is that by the end of this video, you'd be well on your way to answering that question for yourself. My hope is to equip you with the tools I'm going to share in this video in order for you to get to know yourself better. The first indication that someone wants to get to know you is the effort they put into spending time with you. And that's the same kind of energy I need you to put into yourself. I need you to spend time with yourself. And I'm not asking you to meditate for hours on end. That's not what I'm saying at all. If you can do that, fine. But that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying spend just a few minutes a day with yourself. Just a few minutes with yourself. Either you're sitting, lying down, or standing, if that makes you comfortable. Just a few minutes with no phones, no distractions, no TV in the background, no noise, nothing. Sit in the silence. That is what I'm asking, because what this does is it brings you face to face with your bare self. And most of us have not spent time with our bare selves because that is too scary. And I get it, because as soon as you sit in the silence, all these thoughts and feelings start to come up. You are absolutely going to cringe in the beginning. But just like any other thing, the more you do it, the easier it becomes and the better you become at it. And the task I'm going to give to you is to start with 2 minutes, just 2 minutes, and work your way up. That's all. The second and the most difficult thing you're going to do in this journey is called shadow work. Shadow work scares a lot of people, and I get it. It is you sitting there and facing all the parts of you that you resist, the parts of you you hate, the parts of you you are even ashamed of. Those are the kind of things you are coming face to face with. Shadow work can also confuse a lot of people. Just imagine it's night, right? And something is lurking in the corner. But instead of running away, you take a torch and go see what it is. That's exactly what shadow work is. The thing lurking in the corner is the part of you that you resist and hate and are ashamed of. And the torch is the love, the light, the grace, the compassion with which you look at these things. Your shadow is a part of you, and you not acknowledging it is leaving you with blind spots. What shadow work does is bring all these things to the surface so that it can be investigated, worked on, or even just accepted. The process of shadow work is like being your own therapist. But mind you, it is no substitution for real therapy. If you have the money to go to therapy, please do it. What you do is notice your patterns, triggers, prejudices, and all of those things, and document them either by journaling or any documentation style of your choice. You have to ask yourself several questions, and obviously, the quality of the questions determines how fast you heal on this journey. So instead of asking yourself, why am I sad? How about you rephrase it to, what emotions or feelings am I actively avoiding and why? There is a sense of specificity in that, and that is what helps with introspection. You can Google other shadow work questions, but we have to realize introspection alone cannot help us revise our identity. As we know, the most resistant people to change are also the most self aware. Getting to know yourself doesn't only require you to learn about yourself, it also requires you to unlearn all the identities you've carried with you up until this point. The identities that were given to you either by your parents or your guardians or even society at large. With the process of shadow work, I personally came to find out that I carried a lot of shame around not knowing things. I would rather lie that I know it than say I don't know. And that became something that was literally ruining my life. And that's because ever since I was a kid, people commented on how brilliant I was. I don't think I've ever met anyone who didn't comment on my brain. on how fantastic my brain was or how I thought about things. And that literally became my identity. It became everything I was. So whenever I didn't know something, I felt like I have failed myself. And that meant I carried a lot of shame within me. As I said, shadow work mirrors you. It brings you face to face with all your parts instead of the only parts you want to see. When it comes to learning and unlearning things about yourself, you have to be disciplined enough to show up for yourself as needed, whether it's easy or it's hard. What this does is it helps correct your external environment to confirm what you've already concluded internally. I'm going to make a detailed video on what shadow work is and all the parts of it. So subscribe and stay tuned for that video, inshallah. The third and last thing I need you to do is to embrace your quirkiness. Embrace all the things that make you weird, that makes you quirky, that makes you unique. Embrace all of that. Do things that bring spark in your eyes. Do things that makes you feel the most at home with yourself. Be intentional about being the person that feels like home to you. Embracing your quirkiness can be very scary. It can. But I need you to remember this, and I'm going to need you to have an ego death, to kill your ego in this moment for what I'm about to say. Nobody thinks about you as much as you think about you. The reason you think you can't be yourself is because you think people aren't going to like you for who you are. The truth is, most likely, they won't even notice because they are all in their own head the same way you are in your own head. While this might seem like a blow to your ego, think about how freeing it is, how free you are of the expectations of others. This journey is not going to be an easy one, but it is going to be the journey you are most proud of. I can promise you that. As you go through life, your wounds are going to open and close multiple times at different phases of your life. The purpose of this work is to spend time understanding how to ride through the phases, how to survive better during the openings and the closings. You are not doing anything wrong if you wake up one day and realize it still hurts. Give yourself grace and compassion. I hope and pray this video helps you on your journey of getting to know yourself better. Please comment your thoughts about this topic. If there's anything I didn't add, please feel free to comment and like this video. Thank you so much for watching up until this point. I'll see you in my next video, inshallah.